Children's, welcome back. I'm going to start the new chapter number 11, whose name is Reproduction in Plants. In this chapter, we will learn about reproduction in plants, asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, sexual reproduction, seed dispersal. In most plants, flower is a reproductive part of a plant. But what about plants that do not flower? Such plants use different means to reproduce. In this chapter, we will learn about different methods of reproduction in plants. First, we will see what do you mean by reproduction. The process of producing new individuals of one's own kind is called the reproduction. There are two types of reproduction in plants. First one is asexual and second is sexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? In asexual reproduction, when a new plant develops from a vegetative parts of the plant such as roots, stems and leaves, it is known as asexual reproduction or also called vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation may be natural or artificial. Natural methods of asexual reproductions are budding, spore formation, fragmentation. First method is budding. Yeast reproduce by budding. Yeast are microscopic fungi with a single oval shaped cell. In this method, a small bulb-like outgrowth called bud is formed from the parent cell. This bud then increases in size and separates, forming another yeast cell. Second method is spore formation. Mosses reproduce by spore formation. Mosses are small, leafy, flowerless plants. They usually grow in clumps in damp and shady areas. In this method, small spherical reproductive bodies called spores are produced. Each spore has a thick protective wall that protects them from unfavorable climate condition. When the climate conditions are favorable, spores burst and germinate into new plants. Then come to the next method, which is called fragmentation method. Sprague produced by fragmentation. Sprague is a green alga found in water bodies. In this method, the body of parent breaks into small pieces called fragments. Each fragment grows up to become a new plant. Next come to the other forms of natural asexual reproduction. Roots, stems and leaves are called the vegetative parts of a plant. New plants grow from the vegetative parts. The first vegetative parts of a plant is root. Roots of a certain plants can develop into a new plants, for example, roots of a sweet potato, carrot and radish. Next vegetative part of a plant is stem. Stems known as tubers, bulbs, corms, rhizomes and runners. These can develop into new plants. Tubers, bulbs, corms and rhizomes are usually found underground. First, when talk about the tubers. Tubers have buds also known as eyes. Each part of the tuber containing the bud can give rise to a new plant. For example, tubers of potato and turnip. Let's come to the bulb. Bulbs are thick, short, underground stems with fleshy leaves from which the new plants arises. For example, bulbs of onion and garlic. Next is rhizomes. Rhizomes are irregularly shaped horizontal stems. They have buds which give rise to a new plants. For example, rhizomes of ginger. Come to the corms. Corms are the short underground stem sown with stored food. It has a bud that can grow into new plants. For example, corms of colocasia. Then runners. Runners are the horizontal stems that emerge from the main stem. They have nodes where buds are formed. These buds grow into new plants, for example, runners of strawberry and grass. The last vegetative parts of the plant are leaves. Leaves of certain plants forms buds on the leaf margin that develops roots. These leaf buds give rise to new plants. For example, Bryophyllum and Begonia. Come to the vegetative propagation by artificial methods. Some farmers and scientists use artificial methods of propagation to produce identical plants from the parent plants. These methods include stem cutting, layering, and grafting. Artificial methods of propagation to produce identical plant is stem cutting. In this method, it is generally used for multiplying sugarcane, rose, bougainvillea, and hibiscus. It involves cutting off part of a stem and placing it in the moist soil. After some time, these stems develop roots at the base and grow into a new plant. Next process is layering. In this method, a mature branch of the parent plant is bent down and covered with soil. The tip of the branch is kept above the ground. Layering is also done by removing the outer layer of the back of a branch, covering it with moist soil and wrapping with a plastic sheet. The soil is kept moist at all time. New roots grow and eventually a new plant grows from this buried branch. Layering is usually done in plants with long and slender branches such as jasmine. Next process is grafting. In this method, a new plant with desired qualities develop from two different plants. The shoot part is called the scion. The root part is called the stalk. Scion is attached to the stalk. In a few weeks, the scion and stalk unite to grow into a single plant. Plants such as mango, apple, and rose are grown using this method.